Message from the Masters Creating with the Mind of God. Through the founders of the Ascended Masters Mystery School. Part I. It is God in you who is the source of love and oversees the bringing in of authentic higher awareness. Mother/Father God and no one else can accomplish the opening and integration of this awareness, as well as the restructuring of the molecular energies as they transition into their true crystalline or all-Christ inheritance. Ascended Masters Morya and Lady Miriam. The part you play is to be ready for this, to welcome it and to be at peace at all times during this process so it is not being interfered with by your ego believing that this process should go in a certain way or be speeded up or slowed down. This will only be accomplished in accordance with your own powers of loving receptivity in relationship to your own God presence. The biggest part you play is in letting go of the idea that you think, or think you understand or know what the best plan or ideas for you or others to follow. Most everyone has all kinds of attachments and ideas for outcomes that they think are supposed to take place, and this is the very basis of duality consciousness, thinking you knew better or different than God. By thinking you knew what was good or right for you, you also came into the understanding that you believed you recognized what was good or right for someone else. In one way or another, you may have sometimes let others know how they could better themselves by taking your advice. This power of suggestion from one to another has been one of the biggest obstacles to overcoming the duality-based history of humankind. This kind of thinking has also left guilt, shame and unworthiness in its trail for both the perpetrator and the receiver. Empty out your ego mind of all of its suggestions, perceptions, opinions and so-called facts by taking the time daily to be still and at peace to hear the voice of God within you. It is in this way, and only in this way, that the misplaced value given to one's own egoic thinking can begin to relax and be seen for the folly it has created. The quieted mind is never inclined to give any attention to these old duality formats since it finally sees no value in supporting such outmoded ways of thinking. By coming into a quiet state of being, you are literally starving out any residual third-dimensional ways of thinking and their relationship to old habits that involved giving power to the ego-based levels of your mind. And when in this quiet place, make a loving request to Mother/Father God to place before the high levels of your mind all that you already and need to know for each moment that is in alignment with your divine plan. When this request is given in joy and harmony, then and only then, does your mind begin to be filled with the will or ideas of God, and this is the actual beginning of living in oneness with the presence of God that resides within you. The conscious practice of living in gratitude and divine love will continue to yield benefits beyond measure, as these are major fifth dimension keys for living a life centered in your God self. Being fully alive is asking for, and listening to, the infinite mind of God instead of the limited mind of the ego personality self, and this is the major key to your living in complete oneness with God through your own God presence. The mind of God is truly universal mind, which is limitless and vast beyond any measure that can be made by the human mind. Only your heartfelt, loving and humble desire to come into the peace of God will open the door to Source and its vast and endless treasure house. You will then have the understanding directly from the mind of God of how to use it in a way that is for the highest good of all, instead of only for the good of self or a few others. The mind of God cannot be known with any human references, perceptions or opinions of how something could or should be. It operates only in the now and takes no account of the human past, since God did not create your past, you did with your thoughts, feelings, words and actions. God's infinite mind can only be accessed when in balance with divine love and wisdom and in the humility that comes with the active practice of living in oneness with your own God presence.